Hey guys, welcome to M&M Plants. Today I will be discussing the care tips of this beautiful plant, and that's known as Ctenanthe Lubbersiana. Now, the pronunciation might be different according to wherever you are, so let's not stick to the pronunciation, but yes, that's the name. So if you want this plant, you can search this on Google and see what pronunciation you want to go for. And if you go to a garden center or any nursery, you can look for this name and you'll easily find this plant. Obviously, if you look at this plant anywhere in the nursery, do get it because it's very pretty, very beautiful, and it will just give a very beautiful look to your house as well because it's an indoor plant. So you'll obviously keep it inside your house. Let us see what are those basic points that we need to keep in mind, especially because this is from Ctenanthe family. So it comes from those Calathea and Maranta family, which according to me are one of the most difficult families to take care of in the plant family. But if you keep in mind a few basic pointers, these plants will not be a difficult thing for you then. Number one is it's an indoor plant, so you have to make sure that you keep it inside and you don't keep it outside. It should not get direct sunlight, not even for a minute, no matter how hot, cold, whatever weather you live in. I have seen giving it direct sunlight in winter, just thinking that because it's cold, it's winter, let's give it some direct sunlight and maybe it will like it. But I have seen that the plant was not very happy. So avoid giving it direct sunlight. But at the same time, you have to keep it in a bright spot in a house. So doesn't mean that you keep it in a dark corner where it doesn't get any natural light. So you have to keep it at a place in your house where it gets light in abundance, but that has to be indirect light, not direct sunlight. All right, that's point number one. Point number two is, again, I'll repeat myself, and that is whenever you bring a plant to your life, to your house, you have to understand that where did that plant come from? What is the, where did the family originate from? So this plant, it basically comes from the rainforests and from Brazilian rainforests. So they like warm climate, humid climate, and you just need to make sure that you give the plant something similar. All right, so if you are keeping this plant inside your house, I would recommend to keep it in your bathroom if your bathroom has a lot of indirect bright light, or in your kitchen if it has that kind of light. I have kept my plant in my bathroom where I have mirror, because my bathroom has a lot of indirect light, a lot of sunlight as well, but only on the one side of the bathroom. So this is kept where I don't give it direct light, but obviously a lot of indirect light in the bathroom. Now, because it's in the bathroom, obviously we take shower. That's a very humid place and it's a warm place because you take hot showers and all that. So that's why look at the growth of my plant, look at the health of my plant, the leaf quality, the number of leaves I have in this plant. And if you remember, I have shown this plant to you a few months ago. If you remember the video where I did share my 150 plus indoor plants a couple of months ago when we had hit 1000 subscribers. And if you look at the plant, it was so small and it was a baby plant when I bought it, and just look at the health today. Look at the number of leaves and the health of the plant. And only reason is I give it what it likes and where it comes from. So it's like you if you have a penguin, you want to make sure that the penguin is in a cold place. You can't keep penguin in hot sun and expect penguin to be happy. That's the simple calculation. Now the next thing is, when I have made sure that my plant is in a humid place like bathroom or kitchen, the next thing is watering. Now there is a big difference between humidity and watering the plant. Humidity means obviously the plant has to be in that humid atmosphere where there is maybe somewhere near there is water or something like that. But at the same time, these plants, they don't love overwatering, especially when they are in pots. When they are in ground, overwatering is not the problem, because the water just spreads out and there is no block. The water doesn't get blocked in the pot or anywhere near the roots of the plant. But when the plant is in a pot, if you overwater it, what happens is the water is locked in the pot. So I have to make sure that whenever I water my plant, I check the soil, and if top 1 to 2 inch of the soil is absolutely dry, that's when I water this plant. So that is very, very important. If the soil is not dry, but you still feel that your plant needs a little bit more humidity, you can either give it a good spray or give it a good shower just on the leaves, just to give it that humid atmosphere. But otherwise, never overwater your plant. Next thing is, I always fertilize my Ctenanthe using liquid fertilizer like seaweed fertilizer, and I do that every 3 months. So if I fertilize it today, I will not bother fertilizing it for another 3 months at least. And in winter, I try and not fertilize my plant, because I know in winter this plant is not going to grow at all, so it doesn't need fertilizer. All it needs is water once in 20 days, because it's cold right now in Australia. It's winter, but soon it will be spring. So in 2 weeks time, I will definitely give it some liquid fertilizer, and then every 2 to 3 months I will make sure that I give it some liquid fertilizer, because spring and summer is the time when it grows, and that's when it needs food, it is hungry, and that's when I should fertilize this plant. Also, the next thing is, in such plants, fungal attack is very easy, so I'll make sure that none of the leaf of the plant touches the soil, because that's the easiest way to have fungal attacks. And regularly I'll keep on digging the soil very gently, keeping in mind that there are roots and I don't break the roots, because this is a very delicate plant. So obviously I'll keep on just regularly digging the soil, because I just want to make sure that the air circulation. Why do we dig the soil? Because the air circulation should be normal, the air should reach the roots very normally, and the water should dry very easily from the pot. That's why it's good to just keep on digging the soil every few weeks, let's say 2 to 3 weeks, and that will keep your plant healthy as well. It is good to prune this plant as well, let's say once in a year or 2 years, when you see that you have some unwanted leaves or unwanted branches and you want to give it a good shape. Like if you look at my plant, I have definitely given it some good pruning in I think 2 or 3 months ago, and if I find any leaf which I don't like, I'll definitely cut it off. You have to have a huge heart and cut those unwanted leaves off your plant, because sometimes if the leaf is not very healthy, there is no point of keeping an unhealthy leaf in your plant, and what if it just spreads or something like that. So I definitely don't keep such unhealthy leaves or branches in my plant. To end this video, I would say keep this plant clean, because it comes from rainforest. So what happens is, these plants, they are under huge trees, and what happens is, in rainforest it rains a lot, and all the time these plants get those droplets of water from that huge tree, and the leaves constantly get cleaned. That's why they stay humid, and they stay warm as well, because they are under huge trees, and they get cleaned all the time because of those water droplets from huge trees. So I would also keep my plant clean all the time, so that there is no fungal infection. And if there is any fungal infection like mealybugs, spider mites, aphids, but by any chance, I have been lucky, I haven't got any yet, and I hope I don't get one. But if you get one, immediately treat it, give it some good insecticide, or neem oil is the best, because obviously you want to be organic as well. That's why we do gardening, we want to be organic. So give it some neem oil spray, and make sure your plant is clean and healthy, and it will grow like anything. If you keep these few things in mind of understanding what is indirect light, understanding that we have to give this humid atmosphere to this plant and not overwater it at the same time, if this is taken care of, trust me, Ctenanthe will be the best option for you, and your house will look very pretty. With that, I'll take your leave, and I'll see you next week with another video. And take care, do a lot of gardening, help people who are struggling to do gardening. Go green. Bye for now.